from the public if they choose to. So I'm just letting you know, that way you'll be able to, you can mute yourselves if you'd like, but anything you talk about, as the public joins in, they can hear everything that's being discussed and said. Hi, Janie, how are you? Haven't been responding much to emails, but I am seeing them, and thank you for responding.
So, Ashley, does this basically take away the YouTube streaming?
For today, it does. One of the reasons we're going to this format is it's still going to be recorded and it's still going to be uploaded to YouTube for today. And we just don't have the live ability because some of our meetings are all happening at the same time, right? So Environmental Commission and the Art and History Commission are happening at the same time, and we can't stream at the same time. So they're going to stream live today. We're going to be recorded, and then we will upload it onto YouTube as we work through all the kinks of this new system. But yeah, thanks for asking. See, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 minute so I can see if there's anyone in the audience. We have a couple minutes. So right now, there are 2 attendees. Emerson, I'm going to promote you to panelist. And Dominique, I'm going to promote you to panelist.
That's our new city clerk, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I thought we actually had people.
you got really I got really excited for a second. Like, we have attendees, guys. This is great.
Yeah, people care. No, they don't. No, they don't.
So Sarah, I believe you have the ability to record. There it goes. Okay. So
Can you start that?
perfect. And then I'm going to reshare my screen, Stephen, so we can see the agenda.
Okay.
And you can start when you're ready.
Okay, cool. Ooh. Do I need to read all of
Nope.
the? I mean, I will. I mean, it's okay. But keep going down. Okay, so call to order, guys. Welcome. This is our quarterly meeting on May the 11th, 2021, during the age of COVID. Roll call. I'm here, Chair Stephen Russell. Janie Silveria.
I'm here.
Francois Avery. She's here, by the way. Yolette Merritt.
I'm here. Thank you.
Emerson Brown.
Present.
Hey, Tyler.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right, so you should have either gotten a physical copy or a digital copy of the agenda. There wasn't much to this agenda due to the fact that we are kind of in a stall due to COVID. Now we are going to be open for a public comment. Do we have any attendees? It looks like we have 0 attendees.
Chair, there are no attendees for public comment at this time. Whoa, I take that back. Dominique Davis, City Clerk, is actually here for public comment.
Dominique Davis, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here. Just wanted to come on and say hello and introduce myself. I'm Dominique. I'm the new city clerk, and I will be You'll see me involved in regards to your participation on boards and commissions and official things like Form 700s and trainings and all of those lovely things. But I just wanted to put a face to the name that you'll likely be seeing coming across your email. And just let you all know that I am here and available, email or by phone, for any questions or concerns or suggestions that you might have. And I will do my best to respond and to take action on those things. So hello, wonderful to meet you all. Glad to be here.
Hello.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome.
All right, approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was March 9th, 2021, which was a special meeting to discuss our work plan. You should have a copy of those minutes from our last meeting, digitally or hard copy. Take a couple minutes to peruse if you have not read those minutes, and then we can vote to approve them. And if you scroll down, they should be down near the bottom of the attachment that you got from Sarah. That's my dog. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the minutes,
Awesome.
March 9th. Thank you.
Do I hear a second, please?
A second.
Okay, roll call vote. Janie, Vice Chair Janie Silveria.
Hi.
Commissioner Francois Avery.
Does she know she's on mute?
I don't know. I think she's on her phone.
You have to press *9 to unmute.
She's on her phone.
*6 to unmute.
Thank you, Dominique. *6.
Hello, can you
There you
hear
go.
me?
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Hi. Hi.
You
Thank
both
you.
back.
Commissioner Hamish Tyler.
Aye.
Commissioner Yolette Merritt.
Aye.
Commissioner Emerson Brown.
Aye.
Beautiful, motion passes. The minutes are approved. Next business item. All right, so our first business item for this meeting is the appointment of a new chair and vice chair for the Seaside Art and Histories Commission. I'm a busy man. I want to be just the guy who hangs shows, guys. So I think it's time for some new leadership, some new blood to lead us into post-COVID 2021-22. So anybody want to throw their name into the hat, or anybody want to nominate somebody? Why are you guys so quiet? Come on, really?
Chairman,
Help me out, actually.
I wanted to put out there that we had a lively discussion last year when we talked about chair and vice chair. And it was discussed that Stephen would be the chair for last year, and then Emerson was nominated, but it was not voted in because it was not fair that he wasn't at the meeting. He is at said meeting. So I'm just putting that out there for the commission.
That wasn't present. That
No.
wasn't. Thank you for not doing that. What? I don't even know what the job entails. I think that's one of the problems. What is the job description?
There is no existing explicit and specific job description. I'm going to be really honest with you. Michael Wildgoose had a lot of paperwork in that briefcase he'd bring to meetings, but none of it entailed a job description as to what the chair of the SAHC did.
I think there's things out there when you have public meetings. There are some principles and guidelines, but being familiar with Robert rules and things like that. So it's not something out there in the in cyberspace. There's things that people could look up to be an effective chair.
It's not in the I mean, yeah, there's specific things, but related.
Yeah, but that's the whole problem.
Related to this specific commission, yeah, understanding Robert's Rules of Orders and, basically having the ability to lead a discussion that is targeted as well as timely, and, to make sure that it's running smoothly and on time. The one thing that I learned from Michael is basically having an open ear to all commissioners and making sure that there was equity of voice across the board. If no one wants to do it, I'll do it, but
I said I would be vice chair because Janie has been very gracious with her time. So I said I would be happy to do that. I don't feel like experienced enough to be chair yet. So I'm happy to be vice chair and pull that. But I would need I'm the kind of guy that wants to know what I'm getting into. That's the problem. To be chair. I don't take a job unless they tell me what's expected. So yeah. So to be like, oh, you want to be chair? It's.
I think your capacity in the role of chair grows as you are in it. I will say that. The expectation was for me to learn while doing and kind of build the boat as it's floating out to sea. You're given a certain toolbox to begin with, that's for sure. You have a lot of support from our support staff with Ashley and Sarah and Sandra. You can lean on Sandra's institutional knowledge because she's been around doing this for a long time. So she has some long views as to best practices that have worked in the past. Before it was the SHAC, it was just the Arts Commission. So, I mean, there's not a lot of pressure. I think the biggest part that you've been doing is showing up, right? And presenting to our city council. You've done a very good job.
Did it what? Yeah. So what? Somebody was going to say something.
No, go ahead. Who's that?
Oh, yeah. Well, but that's what I was saying. It's my love right now, especially with the uncertainty of just everything.
Yes.
My level, I'm feeling vice chair. That's what I feel. And then maybe next year, and then Steve can share paperwork with me and stuff like that.
Janie?
Because like you, Steve, like a lot of my and other people on this call, a lot of what I'm doing, my expectations at work and stuff like that are pretty crazy right now. I work at the aquarium, for those that don't know, and we're just getting ready to reopen this Saturday after being closed a year. So fortunately, I'm still employed. So it's been pretty nuts. So I haven't been able to focus, on a lot of the commission work. So I don't want to do a disservice to the commission, and I'd rather ease into the role. So if that's okay, that's what my preference for this year.
I absolutely hear you, Emerson.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I've wanted to kind of maybe step back and step down is because, yeah, it's been an absolutely hectic year, and my role as an educator has changed like 4 different times this year, and it's been crazy. And I'm just trying to get through this next 4 weeks. But I mean, I think we're all forgiving each other for like a lot of things right now, and so I get why you're reserved, and I'm still kind of reserved about going forward too as well, because my capacity to be able to serve the city of Seaside where I live and also serve the community which I teach in, it's just I'm stretched. So I mean, it'd be kind of cool if one of our veterans
That's
would.
his hand raised.
Where's the hand? I don't see any hands right here.
Yeah, that's physical hand raised.
Oh, who does?
Oh, the actual hand, not the virtual hand. Sorry, Janie.
Yeah, I don't know how to raise hand on this. So I will just speak if it's all right.
Sure.
Okay, I'm probably the longest serving member of the commission right now. And I am retired from librarianship at CSUMB, so I do have the time. But unfortunately, I am in the process of relocating. So I should probably not even be on the commission anymore when it goes back to live meetings, because I have gone back and forth from this area to the area where my partner lives, and we are just going to consolidate into carpentry, I think. So I will be not around physically. So I wish the commission all the best, and I am glad to chime in with things like working on grants or working on the archival projects to the extent I can online, but I guess legally I can't even really be on the commission anymore. So that's my situation.
Thank you for sharing that.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
is it possible for there to be a co-chair? I mean, I think that to assist you getting through the difficult parts of I would mind stepping up. I'm a little reluctant, being an old white guy, that it might not be the most appropriate election at the time, but I think I'm more than willing to support you if you wanted to stay on with some different ideas. I'm also, I don't personally wish to serve on any committee that does nothing. Okay, so I am also retired. I have time, and I'd be willing to support you, Steve, as we crossed over post-COVID into something else. Is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, that would be something I'd have to, I don't know, Sarah or Ashley, you have anything to, because I've never, that was never presented as a possibility when I was voluntold to be commissioner, so, or to be the chair. So, I mean, if that's a possibility, then.
If I could give some input.
Yes, please.
Maybe Dominique can answer to that, but I've been on some commissions where there have been co-chairs, even though not in Seaside, but I have been in other.
Dominique, if you're on the line and you want to chime in, you're more than welcome to. I'll give her a half a second if she's still there, because she was on the call.
Sandra is also has a long.
I think we'd have to take a closer look at how it's written in terms of the ordinance and the bylaws.
Right.
Right now it's written as chair and vice chair. That's not to say that, I wouldn't shy away from being the chair just because you've never done it before, or being vice chair. It's a job that honestly we can assist with and give input, to help with. The chair's responsibility is to manage the meeting and to help set the agenda. That is the primary role of the chair, right? It's just basically to keep everything flowing and in the conversation and in the proper order, and to make sure that things are going well. would not want to discourage anyone from trying it out. It's a year. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it for as long as you think, because these meetings are quarterly. They're not every month anymore. And in terms of the commission not being as active as it previously were, as the chair, you set the tone and the tenor for what activities are being done and working with the commission to get things done. So I'm not sure if that was helpful at all, but that's staff input on that.
That's pretty much what it is for me. It's like, managing the meeting and also supporting the commissioners and their projects within the community, being present also for SAHC events, openings and the such. Yeah, I think, if you're leery about doing it, there's commitments in preparing for the meetings and making sure that people are present and then following through. Basically, and anything that you are bringing to the table to the commission is following through. It's been a weird 14 months because we've really just been shut down. So our hands have been tied when it comes to our usual yearly, monthly events, the things that we participate in that are part of our commission's charter. And hopefully, as we're going to learn later on in this meeting, that might change in the near future, right? So I don't know. I just think that if you do throw your name into the hat, there are possibilities for enlarging your capacity as a member by being chair, and then also, changing, like what Ashley was saying, the tenor of maybe going forward with what we're engaged in, expanding what we're engaged in.
If I could make a comment, thank you so much. But just could I say thank you to Emerson and to Hamish and also to Janie, just the idea of being diligent with the job, and that I myself, I respect it very highly, that just wanting to do a good job with leadership. That's very commendable. And thank you, all of you, for your comments. Thank you.
So, I mean, I'm not, go ahead, Emerson, please.
So so Hamish, I really think you should do it. Like, be commissioner, I'll be your vice. And the reason I say that is because I think you have, number one, you're really invested in actually doing stuff. And I really like the ideas that you are bringing to the table, especially the expansion of like getting us into, the performing arts, kind of more into what we do. And I think if you're in that role, because we've had some discussions, the reason I'm saying that, we've had some discussions where you weren't clear on like if they're going to be included or not. And since you set the tone, they can be sure to be a part of our discussions going forward. So I think there's a lot of positive reasons, just kind of giving your motivations and how active you've been. But I don't want to, I don't want to talk you into something you don't want to do. But I think Steve, even if he's not a co-chair, he'll be glad to be like, dude, that never worked for me. Like, if you just send him an email, and I don't mean to speak for you either, Steve. I just, Steve's never, like, we're hanging pictures and shooting the breeze. He always tells me what's up. So I don't know, man, if you're up for it, I think you should consider it. I just really don't know, like, what my year's going to be like. Like, I've been really hectic. So I'm just real hesitant. Like, I didn't even know, until January if I still had a job and stuff. So I was just like, well, I was kind of like Janie, like, am I really going to live in Seaside? So, and it's just, it has nothing to do with the commission. It was just kind of the reality of the world. But as I said, fortunately, I'm employed and can still be part of the commission. And I don't foresee that changing. I don't mean to, like, stir the pot or anything, but just because things were so uncertain, I just feel like, I need the dust to settle before I make more commitments. this is what I'm saying. And I know that could be true for anybody. And, people have endured a lot. So I just wanted to elaborate in those two ways. So thank you all for letting me share.
How did you get that cool hand up there?
You press, so at the bottom,
Yeah,
there's,
Oh, there
if
it
you
is,
put
raise
it in full screen mode, you see at the
Oh.
bottom, it says raise hand. There you go.
Huh.
well, yeah, thank you, Emerson. I mean, I would certainly consider doing it. Definitely, if you were willing. I think you have more tenure than I do, but I would really like to sit down. I've been wanting to do this for like 7 months, to sit down with Steve over a cup of coffee and just kind of pick his brain as to just where we all might be in this, and what expectations people have, city council in particular, for this group. Because Ashley, the one thing I would never want to do would be to get into a situation where I gave you more work or something, right? So I'm more than willing to do this, but people need to be aware I'm kind of a progressive, for want of a better word.
Hamish, I can sit down with coffee to you with you anytime. We can just set that up. I'll send me an email or send you an email. I'll just tell you, I'll break it down. The expectations of the city sometimes it goes contrary to what maybe the grand visions I might have, expectations and things like that. I will always be around to share some advice or share, anecdotally the experiences that I had being chair for the amount of time that I've had, which hasn't been that long. But yeah, I'm there to support you in any capacity that you need me to. But I think it'd be good for us to get some new blood into the mix and leadership. And I think Emerson is more than willing to help and support you. And you guys can work as a collaborative team going forward. And I'm here to support the commissions and support. I think it's a good thing too, also for commissioners to kind of rotate through the leadership positions too as well. I was reserved about coming in. It's been rewarding. It has been challenging, but it has been very rewarding. But to keep things fresh, I think leadership needs to rotate through the commissioners, honestly.
And real quick, Hamish, I may have been on a commission longer than you, but I've only lived in Seaside like 5 years, like 4.5 to 5 years. So I'm still learning about the city, and this was part of my effort to be involved. So I think somebody with like historical, just has more time in the city. It'd be great to learn from a person like that. So I just want to throw that out there since you brought it up.
Okay. Well, I've been here for 25 years, and I'm embarrassed that I haven't done more for my city. And I do have the time now. I am writing some scripts and some educational material, but I do have the time to do it. I just would be concerned. I would want to do the best job I possibly could, basically. So.
And you will, because as long as that's your focus going forward, then you will meet that goal. So it looks like we have 2 nominees, one for chair and vice chair. If this is what I'm picking up from Hamish and Emerson. So Ashley, this is going to be a roll call vote.
Need a motion and a second.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move that Hamish be considered for chair and Emerson for vice chair.
Do I have a second?
Who else?
Don't forget that it's *6 to unmute yourselves if you're by phone.
This is Gillette. Let me second that, please.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Vice Chair Jenny Silveria,
Aye.
Commissioner Francois Avery, Commissioner Yolette Merritt,
Aye.
Commissioner Emerson Brown,
I'll abstain since it's for me. I for Hamish. I for Hamish, and I'll abstain from my own vote.
Commissioner Hamish Tyler.
I for Emerson.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Francois Avery, are you there? What's interesting is
*6 to unmute, Francois.
you can mute somebody, but you can't unmute somebody.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys unmute me myself. Okay. Hello?
Yes. Do you?
We
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. What was it again?
Motion for a new chair, Hamish Tyler, and vice chair, Emerson Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, everybody. All right, so moving down to the next.
Thank you for your confidence in us.
You're gonna do great.
Great.
You guys are gonna do great. Okay, so it looks like providing 3 tentative dates in June to hold a joint Art and History Commission and Parks and Recreation Commission meeting to review and discuss a submitted application for park, recreational facility, city-owned building, and street naming application. Sarah or Ashley, can you clarify what this is?
That's me. We have received an application to name a street, and so we have some ordinances that say, we have to publicly notice the community of this application and hold a hearing both with the Art and History Commission and with the Parks and Recreation Commission. That decision then goes to council. So what we're asking to discuss tonight are some potential dates for a meeting in June. And then staff will work behind the scenes to get everything publicly noticed and get the information out into the community to let them know. And you guys will obviously be receiving the information and all of that stuff in advance of the meeting. We are looking at June, somewhere between, I wrote it down, sorry guys, June 23rd through the 27th. And we were thinking is that we were talking kind of behind the scenes, Parks and Rec meets on a Monday, Art and History Commission meets on a Tuesday. We were thinking maybe that during that week, if it's okay with you guys, we would try to shoot for any day that week or a Wednesday, something, that would work for everybody. So you guys will pick 3 dates that will work for you guys, and we will bring those dates to Parks and Rec who meet next week.
You're saying like Wednesday through Sunday?
No, the 23rd through the 27th, Monday through Friday meeting in the evening.
The 20.
So the 20, did I say the 23rd? I'm sorry, I really meant the 21st through the 20th. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong calendar. I apologize. So the week of the 21st of June, anytime down from there would work. So
I'm not available the 15th through the 23rd.
So that
Idaho for a wedding.
gives us the 24th and the 25th, which is a Thursday or Friday.
mhm.
How do you guys feel about Thursday on the 24th?
Okay.
Good with me.
If I can ask the question, Ashley, will we be getting a copy of the proposed application prior to the meeting?
Yes,
And
yes,
just
we have to
do the
publicly
impression
notice,
of-
and then when we set the agenda and the special meeting gets published, you'll get your agenda packet and everything ahead of the meeting, per usual.
And what time would the meeting be?
5:30.
Okay.
And this would be virtual, right? Still.
Yes, yes. As far as I know, it will be a virtual meeting.
Because I will be out of town, but I could log in if, you know.
Okay. May I make a suggestion? Because they asked for 3 tentative dates. Can we, is it okay to say the 24th, the 25th, or Monday, the 28th?
Okay.
Yeah. Works for
Alright.
me. Perfect.
Yes.
I think that's everybody.
Right. And this is June, correct? Just
Yeah.
triple checking. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's June.
Really quick, so 24th, 25th, and Monday, the 28th.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just making sure I had the dates right.
Do we have a preference? Do you guys need a preference?
I'm not available if that 25th is June or Friday. I'm not available. I already have standing commitments.
Okay. Well, can we say the 24th, the 28th, and the 29th?
That works for me.
Okay.
Just want to make sure they asked for 3 dates, so I want to make
Yeah.
sure we get them the 3 tentative dates.
Yeah. Tuesday, Monday, or Tuesday.
And just keep in mind
Thursday.
that we don't need everyone because it's going to be a joint commission meeting. We don't need everybody. So if for some reason you can't make it, as long as we have a good majority from each group, we'll be okay.
Cool.
If that's the perimeters, then those dates are fine for me here.
Thank you, Yola.
Okay.
Work for you, Hamish?
Okay. Yeah, works.
Awesome.
Francois is unmuted.
Francois, what do you think? You think that there's
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, probably the 24th or the 20th. Mondays are kind of hectic for me
Okay.
for work. So,
So the 29th.
so yeah, the 28th would be kind of,
Okay. I'll make a note and I'll let them know.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. In your packets, also at the very end of the minutes from March 9th, there is a invitation to comment from EBI Consulting that's in there. And don't know much about this. I think this is an Ashley again too as well. Or yeah.
We've received, yeah, sure. I mean, we've received a bunch of these guys over the last several months regarding the placement of cell towers. And if you reviewed the packet and you would like to submit a public comment, send me an email and I will let them know. I know Francois has submitted public comment in the past, and I think that was received by them. So if there's anything further you'd like to add, you just review the documentation and let me know, and I will forward your comments onto them. They legally have to go through the commissions in the area to make sure that they especially if it's considered a historic site or anything like that they communicate and are transparent about the work that they're doing. So.
Awesome.
So it's and did you all receive a packet in the mail? But
Yeah.
anyway, this should have been in it. So if there's nothing that stands out to you guys as glaring, or, you know, they need to know anything in particular, it's okay not to comment.
This space in particular is on Old Fort Ord, where they're going to install the cell tower.
Mhm.
And if you know anything about Fort Ord, it has terrible cell reception because it is an old military base, and it was almost like a blocked out site. So cell service is terrible on Fort Ord. It's been killing kids in MPUSD because they have very, very, very limited resources when it comes to high-speed data coming through. So this is going to help kids. It's going to help communities.
I can't hear what you're saying. I know you're saying something, Stephen, but I can't understand what you're saying. I heard you say something about Fort
You
Hall.
can't hear me?
You
Like
did
you-
kind of fade out a
You're
little
saying
bit.
something, but I couldn't understand.
Hold on. Let me. Oh, my volume's all the way up. It's weird. Yeah. So this is going to be on Old Fort Ord, where this cell tower is going to be. Looks like they want to install, and in that area of Ardennes, or what is called Fitch Park area, the cell service there is pretty sketchy. So historically, the kids right now during COVID are not getting the same kind of cell service as other areas in the other areas of Monterey County. So this is going to help people in the long run. That's just my personal comment.
Ashley, is there any significance is there any sort of military monuments? It's just called Ardennes after,
It's the old military housing that's out there that was built in the early 60s.
Yeah.
but does it have any significance or memorial or?
I
No.
think most of the names in that whole area deal in something to do with the overall history of the Army, different
World War II.
activities and things like that. That's the whole area has different names, Sicily, Tunisia, all kinds of things like that.
A lot of
Just
the
Ohana.
cities are named after battles in World War II.
Yeah.
Susquehanna?
Yeah.
Native
Or
American?
after generals like,
Oh, okay.
I used to live on Ardennes Circle when I was a kid. So.
But there is a memorial up there, and I'm not sure if it's going to be close to it. I believe it's there's like a cross. I believe it's a horse that's buried there. I'm not sure. If you walk the back of the trail there, off of not Ardennes but Arlencourt Road. I'll probably drive tomorrow to see exactly where it's at. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to probably go and see. Because I know that there are some sites. But I think this is probably on the other side.
Yeah, I walk that almost every week, like twice or three times a week. I don't remember seeing any kind of memorial for a cavalry horse.
Yeah, neither I know there's some on General Moore. That's over by the RCI building, but I don't think anything is in the housing area. There's a lot of new construction that's taking place.
Well, there's one, if you take that trail that's off of Arlencourt Road in Hatton, there's that trail that goes up, and then you make a left, and it's on the back side of Arlencourt Road, the housing. If you go all the way to the top, there's a bunch of trees, and there's some type of memorial up there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's an official memorial.
Yeah, no, it's not official. It doesn't have a plaque or anything.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know if that's.
Francois, it'd be interesting to have an update from you.
Okay. Hamish, you have your hand up?
No, I was just clarification purposes. So for every building site, if there was a history and or art significance to it, it would technically have to have our approval. And then somebody could say, wait a minute, that's a Native American burial ground or something. Is that our responsibility?
Yes and no. We don't, when it comes to California status for historical buildings of significance or anything like that, that's out of our purview. But if we, for instance, designated a certain building as significant to the history of Seaside, we could, we could make public comment. I don't know if we could stop it, but
Right.
Ashley?
Yeah, I agree with you. The point is that if you have some information you'd like to share with them about anything of significance with their project,
Mhm.
we have as a commission the opportunity to write a letter to submit public comment saying on behalf of the commission saying, hey, you're building in this site, but this was formerly a burial ground or whatever.
And I think the Presidio, they have pretty strong oversight of the area and very sensitive because it is public and federal. They're aware of all the federal rules and mandates in place. They're very vigilant as far as making sure protocols are followed.
We're also not the only commission they've reached out to, right? I'm sure they've reached out to Marina. I'm sure they've reached out to the
Yeah.
Presidio. Like we're one of a few.
A bunch, actually, probably. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. So yeah, so these plans are in the packet that you should have received either digitally or physically, either in the mail or via email from Sarah. So right now we're moving on from EVI Consulting to a discussion on the return to in-person meetings. Take it away, Ashley.
I'm just gonna grab my notes. We are in the process of getting ready to return back to in-person meetings as a city. We are still in the orange tier, so we do have certain guidelines that we have to follow, but as we move into the different tiers and we're able to do more, there will be a time where the council will return to in-person meetings. So we are currently developing a plan on what that's going to look like, right? Because we've been doing Zoom now for a while. So we're working on a plan to kind of merge Zoom world and in-person world so that people still have the option of being able to attend the meetings virtually. So we're working on a plan. We probably won't have a plan for June in terms of in-person. That's a little soon. But we are looking towards August for our normally scheduled quarterly meeting. So stay tuned for information about returning back to in-person. And then I want to hear from you guys. How are you feeling about returning to in-person? I've heard from Janie tonight that she probably will be submitting her resignation, and that makes me sad. We're really going to miss you, Janie, and we appreciate all the work that you've done for the commission over the years. So yeah, it's an opportunity for you guys to tell staff, how you're feeling, and as we move forward.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I have been vaccinated. And when we do start the in-person meetings, would it start being a monthly meeting, or would we still be doing the quarterly meeting?
The meetings will still be quarterly because that was changed by an ordinance. That's a ordinance change. So we would still be meeting on a quarterly basis, but it would be in person. And of course, we would be abiding by all state and county guidelines. So if in August we still are socially distancing and wearing masks, we would be meeting in person, but we would be socially distanced and wearing masks at that point.
So would it be a requirement that everyone be vaccinated before meeting in person?
That's a good question. I don't think that has been a part of the discussion of requirement for people to become vaccinated. That is definitely, you're right, and an option for everyone if that is their choice. But yeah, I can definitely ask that question, but I do not believe we'll be heading in that direction where we're going to require vaccination. That's not up for me to decide. But if I get any more information, I'll let you know.
That's a hard one.
That's really hard to it's a hard discussion for sure. But that is why we are still wearing masks and we're still socially distancing to keep each other as safe as possible.
For the ordinance for the quarterly meetings, is that permanent or is that just until?
That was a permanent change to my knowledge. So we won't be going back to monthly meetings unless the council changes the ordinance.
Hmm.
And Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong. That was a reaction to the COVID crisis and moving to quarterly meetings versus monthly meetings, right?
Yes, that was yes, it was. And it because we lost staff, right? We had a huge change, and those levels we're not back up to what you would think of as pre-COVID staffing. So I don't anticipate that we're going to move out of the quarterly meeting schedule for quite some time. That does not say that it won't change. It just won't be changing this year, most likely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And has come up. I will forward to maybe Ashley or Sarah, very fascinating documentary about the 1918 flu to share. It might be very instructive. It's historic and it might be something that you might like to look at. But I will forward to you the link for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I know, as someone who's in education, I'm fully vaccinated, been fully vaccinated before I had to go back to full-time instruction, but it's a conversation that it's kind of out of our hands. We can't, because first off, the vaccine is a emergency use only. It's not a law. We can't tell kids you can't come back to school unless you're vaccinated. We can't tell even my colleagues you have to be vaccinated before you come back to work. So I get what you're saying. But that's a tricky, dicey one.
That's a tough discussion. And I think, I think it's one that everyone is grappling with as we move forward. And I just think, we just all need to do our part to keep each other safe, and getting the vaccine is your choice. And for those of you watching, if we have an audience at this point, I hope you do get vaccinated. City has a huge campaign right now to encourage people to get vaccinated, but you have to do the research and you have to, feel comfortable enough to do that. And the only way you do it is to learn and to ask questions. And so I encourage people to go on the city's website, go on the county's website, learn about the vaccine, ask questions, talk to your doctor, and get the facts.
Emerson, you had your hand up.
Yeah. I was just I don't know if this will add. I think Ashley handled it well. Thank you, Ashley. But it's my understanding from my experience in my institution for my day job, Francois, so there's some privacy issues around that, and you can't require but so much of people in terms of if they're of them, saying if they're vaccinated or not. So I don't anticipate that the city of Seaside will be able to do that unless the state moves in that direction, which I don't know that that'll happen. And that's a very loose understanding of mine, like I said, based on the institution I work at and what's been shared with the employees. So, I have confidence that Sarah and Ashley and Sandra and everyone will come up with a good plan. And then, we'll all have to react to that as individuals. But I think we'll be in a more confident place when we have to make those decisions.
Well, I'm not asking anyone. I wasn't asking everyone else to get vaccinated. I was just wondering because I know it's different for different employees and companies.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the city of Seaside policy was on that in order for us to meet in person again, is what I was inquiring about.
So because
Sorry.
because we're in the orange tier, there are requirements for a percentage of people that can meet indoors, right? And then there are rules for CDC guidelines regarding, you know, whether or not if you're vaccinated, you wear your mask outside. Like there's all of these rules. And from a city perspective, we're gonna abide by all of them. whatever the current guidance is, we're gonna follow it. I know I can tell you from a staff perspective, we have been, you know, we've been back to work now, you know, for quite some time. And so we do have rules and regulations in place regarding if you're sick, stay home, temperature checks, health verifications. You know, there are lots of different things that we will have in place when we meet as a commission just to verify that you've done a health check, you're good to go, you're wearing your mask, you're socially distanced. So we're gonna do everything that we can to keep each other safe. Hope that helped, Francois.
Yes, yes, it does. Yeah, because you know it's you know, private companies, public companies, and everything. They're just you know, it's just different. So I just didn't know what the city's policy was on that.
Yeah, we do have a policy of, like, I'm by myself, I'm in my office, I don't have my mask on, but there's no one else here. The minute somebody is in my space, the mask goes on, right? So there are guidelines and there are guidance and rules and policies that we are following for sure, and the commissions will be no different.
Let's move along, folks.
Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Updates. Any updates from my end? I have nothing really. We're just kind of in a holding pattern right now.
Ashley, could I request that the new city clerk give me whatever information she might have on the AMP contract? I was working with the former gal on this, and I'm interested to see what happened.
Yes.
The negotiations and so forth with the AMP contract.
Okay. I will send an email to her, and I
Yeah.
will copy you in so you can also respond to it.
That's all. That's because of arts, entertainment, that whole area that
Yes.
we're interested in.
Absolutely. And I also think you and Dominique may want to have a conversation as we move forward and we're talking about streaming in terms of AMP as we go back into the council chambers, right? And what that looks like. And I definitely think you have some input there and some thoughts that you can share with her as we move forward.
If you wouldn't mind passing that on, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I will.
So Sarah, I mean, I know this was put into the agenda. What per se is updates pertaining to? Because it's kind of a question for myself. We don't really have much going on.
Just the mural project, because there was talk about like altering some of the documents so that they fit Seaside versus Sand City.
Well,
If there's no update on it, there's no update on it. You know?
there's nothing right now because, you know, basically we don't have a budget like Sand City was. They actually were given even more money going forward. They started with $65,000 budget for doing these public works, but they expanded their project. So I don't know how we get a $65,000 budget from the city of Seaside. I don't think that's, and you know, if they're cutting staff, I don't think we're going to get a budget like that for our city. It does help that they have shopping centers that give them a lot of tax money that they can use to spend on fun projects. But
Stephen, I accidentally muted.
You muted me.
I'm so sorry. That was not on purpose.
And change of regime is happening already. What the? Anyways, right now, yeah, best practice is cool. I mean, those documents pretty much we can just use those as a template for moving forward if we ever are able to obtain a grant to do some projects around the city. But right now, again, we're kind of in a holding pattern. Like the first thing that I'd like to see us happen, when things start opening up, is being able to first meet in person. And then we can go from there. But I don't have anything new related to that. That information for the mural project from Sand City has been shared, and we can move forward. Hopefully in the near future, but right now, why work on a document that's just going to sit on a shelf? All right, so commissioner reports. Anybody have anything to report?
No.
Oh, Emerson Brown, I see your hand is up.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to react to what I don't have anything to report right
Okay.
now. Hey, did you guys know I was vice chair? I can tell you that. And so, Hamish is chair. That's my report.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm really happy.
Commissioner Brown reports he is vice chair.
No, I was going to react to what Steve said. So if all goes well this year, so I wanted Steve to get those documents. Thank you, Steve, for getting those documents. My grand design is to take those documents and adopt them similar to how we collected a bunch of other city ordinances regarding public art, and then instituted the public art rules that I presented in front of council that got adopted. So the next step, what I'm hoping to do is review those forms and create some drafts, obviously much later this year and next year, when we have time to add it to our work plan. And my hope is that eventually we'll be able to accomplish a small fraction of what Sand City has done with their rather generous budget through, approaching businesses and identifying vacant walls that maybe we could give to artists, our create an RFP for local artists to say, hey, if we give you a wall, you can submit a design and we'll just give you the wall if you want to paint it. And it'll be a slow but appropriate process to get some free public art put up in lieu of having any real money. So, that's all pie in the sky, admittedly, but, and this doesn't necessarily be reflected in the minutes. I'm just kind of reacting to what Steve was putting out there. So that's what I hope we can do eventually. And that's my intention, to start working on those documents that Steve was very gracious in getting from his colleagues. So if you, staff, or Steve know any really true barriers to working on that, you don't have to tell me now, but if you want to send me an email and say don't even bother, that's cool. But that's a long-term goal based on those documents, just to kind of do the same type of thing. And once they're adopted, then institute a process where we can try and accomplish it with some generous businesses and artists interested in just legally putting their work up on a free wall, even, CSUMB visual public art students or anything like that. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for recognizing me.
Thank you, Emerson. I will tell you this, though, is the city manager from Sand City, who was the spur of
Yeah.
mural project. It was the city manager of Sand City who came in like 2 years ago and said, we need to do this, and put a lot of resources and a lot of his own personal time into making that happen. It wasn't their arts. They have an arts commission just like we, but it was the city manager who really put a lot of push behind that. He made that happen. It wasn't like it came from their commission. It came from this guy coming in and saying, we need to do this.
That's that was my suspicion.
Yeah.
Because I sort of followed them. I saw that they acquired a van with a very famous you know, that he happened to do some work.
Yeah.
So I could tell he's sort of personally interested in that stuff. So I guess my thought is, since it's not my job, it's obviously like he gets paid to do it now, that if things work out, that'll be my like personal thing I'll add to the work plan. But like I said, that's very long term, because as you said, Steve, it takes a lot of personal effort. We'll see. TBD. All done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Make some comment about if there's some backdrop from the roundtable for Monterey. The
Thank you.
Monterey Museum of Art will reopen for members on the 13th and general public on the 20th of May. And this, I think, is more Janie's area. California revealed Digitization and Preservation Awards call for the 21-22 applications, and they are due at August 13th. So I know Janie is familiar with that whole area there. So that's sort of the general area from our surrounding neighbors as well that impacts Seaside.
Thank you, Yolette. Okay, any other commissioner reports? Okay,
Janie, don't you want to share something? You already shared it. I'm just picking on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Okay, so the new chair and vice chair are established as of now, or the next meeting, or what?
next meeting.
Okay. And the process is I send a letter to the new city clerk.
Ashley?
Uh-oh, Ashley.
My apologies, guys. I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it?
I was just wondering about when the new officers took office, and also the process for sending a letter of resignation. It goes to the new city clerk.
Yes. So it goes to the new city clerk and also to me,
Okay,
or it can just come straight to me and I can send it to the city clerk. It's totally up to you.
okay.
But yeah, that's the process. You can send an email if you'd like. You don't want to
Alright.
send a formalized letter through the postal service.
Okay.
Janie, can I ask, when are you looking at your last meeting being? You'll be so missed. We have to have a party.
Well, I can continue to come virtually as long as the meetings are not in person. And so I will probably, stick around for another couple of meetings until that starts happening. I feel like it can still contribute some things, but it is much more difficult when it's all online and no interaction in person. So probably closer to the end of the year.
Well, Jamie, I'll keep you in the loop and everyone as we progress and try to work through the in-person meetings and merging virtual and in-person and how that's going to work. But I'll definitely keep you in mind and keep you in the loop.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Jamie. Staff communication.
I don't have a lot to report. We are, but a couple things, and Miss Sandra might want to chime in case I forget something. We are working on our virtual gallery stuff, and we do have 2 shows up now, and we also have the Youth Arts Collective contract that's going to get finalized, and that show is going to go up in June. We are working on a small staff show to go up in the gallery, kind of as an in-between before the fall art competition that we are planning to do. I believe, Sandra, chime in. I think this is in September.
You're doing great.
So
I don't have
we,
anything to say.
so we have gotten the word that we're going to slowly start the city hall reopen, right? We're going to start in-person council meetings. All goes well, maybe in July. And then we've been told to plan an in-person show in September. And we're thinking, okay, great, the fall art competition. So mark your calendars. Sandra's going to be reaching out to ask for help. And since it'll be our first real gallery opening, we're moving to that. But we're doing a little in-between staff, city staff show, just so that we can put something up on the walls. Because right now it's empty, right? There's nothing in the cases, nothing on the walls. So we're thinking, let's try to do something small just to kind of get back into the swing of things. So that's happening. And what else can I share? I've been sending out lots of emails. I hope you've all been getting them about various things happening within the city. California Revealed. I'm just going to move down to the California Revealed stuff. I reached out to them mostly because we weren't hearing anything, and I knew we probably weren't going to get good news, but the emails and the packet, we are still a long ways away from having our newspapers digitized, but they are still in the queue. So we're still waiting for that. They're going through a staff transition there, and they're coming back also into the offices, and they've been on, they also, experienced losses during COVID. So that's my update on that. There's a copy of the work plan in your packet, just for your review, because that was the finalized document. I just want to make sure we memorialized it by putting it back in the packet at this point. Sandra, do you have anything you want to add?
Can I ask a question, Ashley? Could you elaborate a little bit on the staff show? What staff is that? Is that citywide staff?
It's just citywide staff. Yeah.
The commissioners are included as well?
I don't see why not.
And what are the dates and things like this?
It hasn't been finalized yet, but as soon as we finalize everything, we'll send out an email.
Love. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't have a thing to add. You got it all, Ashley. I was hoping you would, and I'm glad you did.
Sarah, do you have anything?
I have something really quick. I know that at one point the fence that was on Flores and San Pablo was mentioned because it was a pretty rundown looking chipped paint red. Someone, I don't know if it was the city or one of the community members or what, painted it a beautiful teal with a lighter teal trim. So it's like freshly painted and gorgeous now.
Ooh,
That's cool.
I did think of something. Oh,
Okay.
the Paintings Day. Every Friday, the last Friday of every month, I've been for the last 3 months, and this will be the third, I believe. No, the fourth one. I've been doing a painting class online, virtual type thingy, and people get to sign up and take the class. It's only an hour, and it's been fun. So watch for something in your email, I guess. I'll try to make sure I get something out to you.
Yeah, because that one is actually, it's getting a good number of participants, which is really cool. Emerson,
We're
you had a
trying.
question? Yeah.
Yeah, has everybody reported?
We're done. Yep.
Okay. If this is it's hard for me. I don't have the agenda in front of me. I'm looking at your screen. So I have a general staff question. Is it appropriate for this time?
Yes.
Okay. I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm just curious since the agenda's light. And we don't need to go into great detail, but Steve's, I know COVID's probably impacted these. I'm just not sure the overall status of these two projects. One is, and I just want a short update, I guess is what I'm asking for.
Sure.
One is the utility box project. If utility companies ever got back to us, I know staff did what?
You've reached out.
Reached out, correct.
I don't believe they did.
Okay,
And because it's been a while.
right.
I'll put that on my to-do list to reach out again to our engineers and our public works team.
Yeah, because
That's a really good question. And now's the time to ask those questions so we can, once we go back to in-person, we can
Yeah.
kind of get the ball rolling. So go ahead, ask me your next.
yeah, that was my intent. If we can just goose that a little bit, because I figure, I know you guys, did what you're supposed to do, but if we don't get any feedback, how are we going to move that forward eventually when we can? And it's still okay to do outdoor stuff. So it's a really cool project, and I think the scope is right size now. I know, Steve, I know. So I just want to, if it's as simple as sending another reminder email, that'd be awesome. 2 is I remember Steve brought up a Black Lives Matter, and I know there's probably a lot of barriers to that, but is that done, or which, fine if it is. I just
I can't
wondering
answer
about a
for
status
CoChair.
update.
And I honestly don't have an update. I think if you guys want to have that discussion and talk about doing that, then you should agendize it. And
Great. Thank you for the clarification. Again, I just wasn't sure what was happening with it.
Sure.
If I want to add it, I'll let you know. I'm done, Hamish. Yeah.
I was wondering if there's actually an official way that we could thank both Steve and Janie for their service, and that this be conveyed to the city council in some way for their extra work that they have done on behalf of the city.
I think for Janie, definitely.
yes, yes, there is a process, Janie, for commissioners that retire and leave the commission. So stay tuned. Yes, they do something at council.
Thank you.
I'm still part of the commission, so
You Sally.
nothing necessary.
So sweet.
Nothing necessary.
But yeah, I don't want to call it a proclamation because I'm not exactly sure if that's it, but it is something. So I will work with Dominique on and put something together.
It's a recognition of some sort. I remember. Yeah, we did the same thing for Michael and other and Emily too as well. So, yeah. Thank you, Emerson. But yeah, it's like beating a dead horse. I mean, I've done certain due diligence with the utility boxes, and it's out of my hands now. It's not in my lap anymore. It's in somebody else's lap, and it's frustrating. But I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. What I personally don't understand what happened. So I will ask the questions and find out, because I believe, didn't we have a conversation with Gloria Stearns as well about the utility boxes?
Yes, we did. And
Okay. Sure. And so and just, yes, I will do my research and I'll get back to you guys and let you know, but probably by email. So stay tuned, because August is a long ways off. So I'm sure I'll hopefully get an answer soon than that.
I think Emerson, for the Black Lives Matter mural, I'm still working on that. But because of COVID and the fact that we can't move forward with that without it becoming some kind of potential super spreader or whatever, that's the reason why that's been tabled. I think that's something that we definitely revisit. I've done a lot of work with Monterey County protests over the course of the COVID, and I'd love for something that to come back, but right now, everything.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Thank you, both of you. So what I'm hearing is, just so I understand, yeah, I'll just wait for an email from you, Ashley, and if there's any updates or things you want the commission to do, because I'm just personally interested too. So we'll just, Steve, if you want to add it to the agenda, if there's news, then that's great.
I will when there's news.
Okay.
Can I ask for help on something?
Sure.
Vice Chair. The staff and I are kind of the archives, okay?
Yes.
attention badly. And the reason I say that is it's not because we did the best we could in terms of we got the new shelving in, we put everything in the shelves, right? But in terms of really getting the filing system down and solid, we lost our archivist over COVID. And so we reached out, heard nothing. It would be great if someone from the commission could help us liaise with SJSU and that program to try to figure out if we can even still work with them on the archival project, because we really wanted to get an intern, but we also are at capacity on what we can accomplish. So
They
it's just
actually, I
kinda
couldn't,
stuck.
excuse me, I couldn't understand. Reach out to who? I'm not hearing it because some of the words I'm catching and some are not. Reach out to
The
who?
San Jose State Archivist. So the San Jose
I
State
thought
has
that
an
was
archival
completed.
program.
Did we complete it? I thought we paid the person and the work was done.
No, we got a quote and an estimate on the work, but then COVID happened and we weren't able to finalize it or get interns in due to COVID. But since we're coming out of COVID and things are changing, it would be great if we could have a commissioner kind of help us tackle that project.
Is that person who we contracted with, is that person still involved in the project or has
No.
that fallen out?
No, she's
It's
no
shut
longer
down.
involved. Yes.
She's no
So,
longer.
so Lori, so what happened to Lori?
No idea. She's not interested any longer.
Oh,
It's,
she's
We've
not. Oh,
reached
wow.
out, we've heard nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
well, SJSU, like all Cal States and UCs, they went distance for the entire year. So she was probably adjunct or an associate professor or not making much money doing that. So
Yep.
I can get it. She's probably, pounding the pavement, finding another gig.
Wow. Wow.
So it's, that's just the nature of the beast when you're an associate professor. When your classes are distance and you're all about inserting into a community and doing their archives. I get it. But yeah, if you would like, Ashley, I can reach out. I have a relationship with SJSU. I'm an alum. So I can definitely reach out to SJSU if you'd like.
thank you. Yeah, if you could just help us figure out how to move forward, that'd be great.
Yeah, it could be, they don't really know right now if they're starting with a hybrid in the fall for all Cal States. There'll be students on campus, but they're limited to the amount of students that can go into certain classes and whatnot. And they'll still have distance learning, but yeah, if you can forward me the department information, I can contact them and they can probably shine a light on what's going on.
That'd be great. I mean, I get it. If we still can't have interns, obviously we couldn't have anybody in the building, so it's gonna be stopped and stalled. But it's just one of those things that I don't necessarily want to just go away and get completely lost as we come back online.
Yeah,
Can
okay.
you copy me on that? And the only reason I ask is I just want to have the information. So as we move forward with our project, I can keep it.
Do we have a copy of the proposal that she gave for us to agree to do it? Did she give us any details of the work to be done, or was it still kind of up in the air?
There was a wish list.
Yeah, it was. I'd have to go back and take a look, and and I can send that out to you just so that everybody kind of can take a look.
Because
at what
there's
proposed.
ongoing interns helping out with the Presidio Library with Cameron Brinkley. They use interns all the time to do a lot of good work.
Yeah,
So you don't necessarily need to have a professional if there's some kind of guidelines or someone who can give some guidance to get the work done.
I think the whole point of the SJSU relationship was because you'd have a professional archivist teaching at the same time that the work is being done. And rather than just having an intern that's going through our archive kind of unmoored by not having a professional working there. I don't know if that would work out. I don't know if that would be the same kind of, it wouldn't be of the same quality. It wouldn't be the same equity as having someone who's a professional working with students and teaching them the craft?
Cameron, they also have archival staff and they have more time to supervise the CSUMB students. At this point, there are still some volunteer or students doing this as a project for their service learning or whatever it is, their classwork. So we have done the CSUMB student route, but it does take a lot of supervision, a lot of time, and obviously can't happen right now.
They're
But-
closed. They're closed.
Yeah.
Zach, I can share the archivist that was working with Cameron. She is now in charge of a library up in Alaska. She got promoted. So he's relying a bit on the student support. But if there's guidance, as you said, if everyone says, you got to have professional guidance of what to do.
All right. Guys, let's kind of move on.
Yeah.
California revealed update is
That was,
Janie.
Oh, Janie.
oh no, she already gave it. Basically stuck in limbo. It'll happen sometime, but not apparently till fall or winter.
Okay. Thank you. Finalized work plan 2021. You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. It's in the packet and I kind of covered it in my reporting.
We're good to go. Okay. Congratulations to our new chair and vice chair.
Thank you. Email me, please.
Pardon?
If you remember to email me, text me,
Yeah, let's get some coffee, brother.
got it. I'll even buy.
Thank you, Hamish. With no further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in June.
Thank you.
Thank
Guys,
you,
have a
everyone.
wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Aloha.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.